Hi, and got two pairs of glasses on. That's interesting. Alrighty, hi, and welcome to today's daily reading for the 16th of July. And today's reading is from a book that I haven't used for quite a while, actually. Affirmations for the Inner Child by Rokelle, Lerner. So, July the 16th. I see myself through the eyes of my inner child. How silly it is to sit on chairs when the floor isn't half as crowded. Besides, you never fall off the floor. In fact, sitting is pretty silly when you can roll, run, jump, or tumble. Grown-ups are really silly. On the telephone, sometimes their voices change and they sound like the people who do commercials. Unbelievably polite. Another thing, adults say goodbye 40 times before they ever leave their friends' houses. I could play 10 games of Parcheesi between the time they say clean up the mess and finally walk out. Today I will see my adult self through the eyes of my inner child. So, interesting, isn't it? The telephone voice thing I get. I think, do most of us have a telephone voice? I'm not sure. Certainly my father had a telephone voice. Not that we had a telephone for, a very long time. I was 16 before we actually had a phone when we put into our house. And my dad, he wasn't big on the phone, but he did sound very different when he was on the phone or when he was talking to someone important. So I suppose we do change the way we speak. I don't know whether, maybe even doing these readings, I know that I have to slow down from my usual speed and I try to pronounce things a bit clearer than when I'm just having a conversation with someone. In Scotland, when I'm talking, I talk very fast. And I know that when I'm teaching, that can be a problem over here in Canada because, when I speak fast, it's difficult to understand me unless you're a Scot. But we're talking about inner child and play. Are you someone who can play or not? I am getting better at it, but I understand this, from a child's perspective, when the adults say clear up, when they're visiting somebody, it can take, what did she say? 40 times saying goodbye before they actually leave the house. And the children could still be playing right up until that moment, when it's time to go. But we tend to have them hanging around while we're saying goodbye and, and remember, and what about, and it's, another 10, 15 minutes before we walk out the door. So grown-ups are really silly on the telephone. Another thing, adults say goodbye. Today I will see my adult self through the eyes of my inner child. So that's the invitation today then, isn't it? To look at how silly you can be. Do you, this bit about, why would you sit on a chair when the floor's less crowded? And you can't fall off the floor like you can off a chair. So it does make perfect sense. Children do make perfect sense if you listen to them. If you take the time to listen to them and interpret what they're saying, they're pretty smart, even from a very young age. So, so my invitation, I suppose, today is to look at whether you have a telephone voice or not. Does your voice change depending on who you talk to, or are you pretty good at just being yourself? I think I'm pretty good at being myself. It's just that I have to slow down. That's kind of my thing. But I think I sound the same, except for the need to be understood element all the time. Am I silly? Not so much, but I can be. So that's progress. I can be silly, and it's fun to be silly. I have realised that I miss a lot by not being silly, and having fun, laughing, giggling. I had a good giggle with my friend Audrey this morning online, and it's good to giggle. It's good to be with people who make you giggle, and that's the blessing I had this morning. I got to be not on the phone because we were on video, except her video wasn't working, so it was more like a phone call. but she totally understood me because she's Scottish. Anyway, that's the reading done for today. Namaste. Love to you all. Bye now. Bye.